Hi everyone, do you know the different levels within project management and the different career paths that you can take within project management? Well, we already know that project management is a really good, low risk, low cost career opportunity that has quite high returns and a high reward. Recent research has shown the average project manager wage is around $111,000 a year, as opposed to non-project related roles, which are around $62,000 a year on average in the US. Now, of course, this is different in different countries as well. In some countries, like Australia, where I am, the average wage can be higher, and I've seen a lot higher than just the average as well. But sometimes it can be really daunting and we're just not sure where to start. So there are different levels that we can start, and the beautiful thing about project management is that you can start from wherever you are. Because we've got here at the very most basic level, you can start with just the skills and knowledge that you've already got from working in your normal job. Let's say you're working as a receptionist, or if you're working, on the front desk somewhere, you've been using a particular system, and with that particular system, often people need your expertise as a user, so a senior user of that system, to get the requirements to make changes, because projects bring about change. And as a subject matter expert, it's a great way for you to get into a project and start working in the project management environment and start to get amongst those areas that can have a higher wage potentially. From there are many different roles, and we're going to go through them all, and we're talking about wages from $30,000 all the way up to $150,000 a year and more, depending on your area and depending on the country that you're in. But going from change manager to business analyst, quality testers, project officers, and some of these will suit different people as well, and that's the good thing. You can choose something that suits your temperament and the way that you prefer to work and the skills that you prefer to gain as well. You've got project manager, product owner, program manager, and project coach. Let's get into them really quickly and see what the opportunities are. When we're starting from a subject matter expert, obviously you'll start with just your normal existing wage, but moving up into a role like a change manager or a business readiness manager, with these particular roles, they're quite new in the industry, but they're getting the business ready for the change. So let's say there's a change in a system or a change in an area. We need to get the business or the people using that system or the people moving, we need to get them ready for that change. And that's where a change manager comes in. Now, there's a wide range because it's quite a new role, and we're looking at roughly from $30,000 a year to all the way up to $95,000 a year, and sometimes more, depending. Again, in Australia, there can be quite a high demand for change management roles because it's starting to make its way in the industry. There's also a lot of these roles available, probably around 90,000 job advertisements just in the US that I've seen on this particular website. But what if we want to move on from there? Then there's another role, business analyst, and this is where we're gathering the requirements from that particular system, for example, or for the move or for a process change or anything that we're doing. We need to gather those requirements and tell those to the people doing the work so they can complete that change. Business analyst role is also starting to become more prominent these days, and as you can see, there's quite a good range here as well, starting from $60,000 a year, going all the way up to $100,000, $105,000 a year in the US, and potentially more in some areas. But the best thing is there are 40,000 job vacancies or job advertisements just in the last month in the US alone as well. If you're working remotely or if you're working in your particular country, there's a really good chance that there's going to be business analyst roles wherever you're working. From there, you could also look into a quality tester role. This is where once the change has been made in the system or in a particular product or something new that you're creating, you do need to test it and make sure that there are no defects and make sure that everything is working as it should. A quality tester role is a whole bunch of fun. You usually get to test things before they reach the market itself. And as you can see, the range in salary can be quite rewarding. You've got from $70,000 all the way up to $120,000. In some cases, you may need, if you're working in software development, you may need to do some automation or learn small parts of code, but not as much as an actual developer. And it's something that can actually be quite fun to learn. There is a lot of opportunity out there for quality testers, with 20,000 job ads just in the last month alone. From there, you might move into a project manager role itself, especially if you've got good experience being a business analyst, change manager, quality tester, or many of those other roles within a project already, a good next move is to move into project management itself, managing the bits and pieces, making sure that all of the tasks are aligned, making sure that they are put, sequenced into a schedule, make sure the cost is aligned and that you're managing the cost and keeping everything on track, and that people are engaged and willing to do the work within the project. For this particular role, again, we're looking at between $60,000 and $115,000 with a really high demand, so a really high number of job vacancies that you could potentially step into. 123,000 job ads just in the last month in the US alone. Again, anywhere around the world, you'll probably find project management roles. And also with the remote work, you could potentially live somewhere else and work in a different country to where you're actually living. But once you've put all the pieces together, and if you want to move into a project management role, the rewards can again be quite high. From there, you might move into a program manager role, which is actually doing the same thing as a project manager, roughly, but over multiple projects. So keeping multiple projects on track, making sure that the resources are assigned across multiple projects, for example, and really just doing a very similar role but at a higher level. This one on the job ads has a similar pay scale, but in my experience it's usually paid quite a bit higher than a normal project manager. So the rewards you'll see will usually be a little bit higher, but in this one we've got between 45 and 115,000 again, and we've got 90,000 job ads for program manager if you're wanting to take another step up from project manager. Now, in an agile environment, you've also got the product owner role. The product owner basically does what it says. They own the product, and they usually come up with the ideas or features to meet a certain requirement. So if we're wanting to increase the users in a particular system, the product owner might need to come up with ideas to increase that usability and to increase those users, and then turn those into features. So work with the business analysts to give them the requirements so that they can give those to the developers, and then turn those into features to be created. And when those features are created, then they need to monitor that, help massage the change and work with the change managers in the business to try and get that change put into the business without too much disruption. They're basically like a mini CEO or a mini entrepreneur working inside a business for a particular product to try and make that product better, and usually to try and increase the user base, get more users and get more money as a result. And because of that, it can be quite highly paid. You've got from $90,000 up to $145,000. And so with around 47,000 job ads for a product owner just in the last month in the US alone. Having been a product owner myself as well, I can tell you it's a whole bunch of fun, but you do need to be on your game, and you do need to be able to increase that user base and increase the profit for that particular product that you're working on. Now, lastly, you might see a coach role, in particular an agile coach, with agile becoming way more popular these days. But an agile coach works with the executives and works across multiple teams, often a portfolio of teams, to increase their capability in agile and to try and improve their way of work so that everyone is more engaged and gets their work done a little bit better, a little bit faster, and in a more agile way that usually helps streamline things and make things run more smoothly. The pay scale here can range from $100,000 a year to $150,000 a year US, and there are around 20,000 job ads just in the last month in the US alone. Now from here, of course, you can move into executive management, usually when you have project skills like keeping a team engaged, keeping a team on track, keeping a schedule on track and cost on track, and delivering features that are going to improve the bottom line of a company. Usually those skills translate very, very well into management and upper level management. So once you've been doing this for a few years and have been helping other people and coaching people through it, then often there is a good pathway for you to keep moving and keep improving. And those are the 8 different levels that you will find when you're working in a project management environment. As we said, you can start from wherever you are, and it's just great to be able to start from wherever you are and learn the skills that you need to take the next step and to improve and to get a better paying job when you are ready. I really encourage you to keep learning and keep going. If you're working in this environment already, I know you can do it. I'll see you in the next video, and bye for now.